friends, Mary with a Painted Peach here, and today I am a guest host with Brenda and Kathy Joe for the Just Our Imagination playlist collaboration. I'm super excited to be a part of this, and I can't wait to see what everyone does today. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. Let's get started with DIY number 1, using a book.
I have this Reader's Digest that my friend Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration sent me, and I'm just going to mix up a color that is similar to what color the book already is, just so I can cover up that spine area mostly, but I am going to take it all the way around to the other side just to make the color even out. I'm just giving one good coat, and I think that's all we'll need, so we're going to dry it up and then we're going to move on to the next step. Once that is dry, I got out some gold folk art paint. I believe this is antique gold. I'll have to look and put it in the description once I figure that out. But I am just I am painting the pages, the edges of the pages of the book to be gold. And I'm just going to go around the top, the side, and the bottom with that gold paint. Next, I'm getting out a lighter gold from Folk Art. It is a metallic also, and I'm going over that tan part that I had painted before, and I'm going around the edges of the book as well, just to give a little bit of an outline. Once I get that all done, I'm going to pull out this Essential Stencil Rub-On Transfer, and we're going to use these flowers right here for the front of the book. Once I get that on, I'm just going to start adding more and more pieces of the rub-on transfer to different areas of the book and decorate it up with the honey and the bees and the flowers. Now that I got all of my rub-ons on, I'm going to add some twine right at the line of the front of the book and just hot glue that on. am going to fiddle around a little bit to see what I want to do, and then decide I want to add 3 bees right here on this part of the book. So we put those on, and then we are finished with the rub-ons, and I decided I wanted to add a lighter piece of jute right here as well. So I add that, and I think it brings out the whites in the rub-on transfers. Now I'm going to take some of that same rope, and I'm going to use some jute twine around it and make a tassel to hang from the book. So I'm just going to hot glue it right inside that spine and let it hang down over the spine of the book. And here is the finished book. I'm going to display this next to my tray back here and a few other honeybee things, and I think it turned out super cute. And I just took a old book and made it something decorative to put out on display. I hope you enjoyed this.
Let's get started with DIY number 2, using a sink or bath mat.
All right, I chose a sink mat from the Dollar Tree, and I have this frame that I used in another project. I used the backer to it. So I am going to use the actual frame today, and we're just going to start off by using a makeup sponge and some burnt umber and going over the whole sink mat with the burnt umber. Now I'm taking a little bit of this folk art paint. I think it is almond latte, and I'm just going to use the makeup sponge to blot some of that here and there and break up some of that burnt umber and give it a little bit of a rustic look. Now I'm just going to take that burnt umber on my makeup sponge and rub it over my frame. My frame was really gray, so I wanted to make it more of a brown. So I'm just sliding it over lightly. It's not really painting, it's just kind of washing over it. Then I'm going to give that a good dry. We're going to clean up all this burnt umber off of our table here, and then we're going to glue our mat to our frame and trim it up. I was going to try to see what it would look like leaving the outer edge on there, but I decided I didn't like that. I'm adding just a little bit more of that lighter color, and then we're gonna go ahead and glue our frame onto our mat. I do trim a little bit of it off. It ends up not being enough, and I struggled a bit with getting this mat to glue to my frame. If I was to do it again, I would use the stapler to staple it to the back and then trim it with a utility knife, but I did it the hard way. So I am just gluing it on, and then I end up trimming and having to glue again. While I am gluing this, I would like to take this time to thank the hosts of today's collaboration for having me as a guest host. I am very honored to be a part of this collaboration as a guest host, and I cannot wait until I get to see what everyone else does in their videos. Make sure you check them out in my description. There is a link to the playlist, and there is tags for each of the hosts as well. You just seen me do that splatter effect, and now I'm just taking my brush and hitting the edges of the frame to bring out the outline of the frame itself. And now I'm going to take this metal home reef sign, and I'm going to paint it with that plaster paint. Give it a good dry, and we're going to glue it right onto our plastic sink mat. After that, we're going to glue that wreath right on top of it and add a 3D greenery touch, and I think it is so pretty with that wreath on there. I am going to take my brush and slightly go over the frame a little more on the front just to give more of a light appearance, and this is how it turned out. I think it is super cute, and I will be displaying this in my home.
Let's get started with DIY number 3, using dowels or skewers.
I have this pack of dowels that I got from Hobby Lobby a while back. We're going to use one of these dowels for this simple Halloween project today. I'm going to take some of this Rust-Oleum stain and give that dowel a good staining and make it nice and dark. Next, I'm going to get out my jute twine and my Bodabra, and I'm just going to keep looping and looping and looping until I get a super full bow. But we're not going to use it as a bow, of course. We're going to do something a little different. And then once I get it nice and thick, we're going to just cut it and pull it right off of that Bodabra. We're not going to make a bow out of it. We're going to hold the top, and we're going to stick our dowel right in the top, and then we're going to take another piece of jute twine, glue it, and then wrap it and wrap it and wrap it until we have a broom. It is so super easy and super cute, and we're making a little witch's broom. So then we're just going to fiddle with it a little bit and make sure our loops are where we want them, and then we are going to actually cut the loops at the bottom to make the little broom, and then we're also going to trim the top, cut those loops and trim it down a bit. Now I have one of these old welcome spring tags. I think it had a duck or something on it, and I just tore it apart, and I'm going to paint the whole thing black with black chalk paint. And then I'm going to take my sander once I dry it, and I'm just going to sand off that paint off the edges and a little off the front as well, just to give it a little bit of an outline. Then I'm going to take this Chalk Couture stencil, and I'm going to use Witchy Vibes on this stencil, and we are going to make a cute little tag for our broom. I decided to add this cute little cat at the bottom peeking over, and I think it was a great choice. Now I'm deciding where I want to put this, and I decided I want to have it as a hang tag, so I went into my garage and I drilled a hole into it. And now I'm going to get another piece of jute twine and just make a little tie for it to tie right around the base of my broom. This was a super simple way to use a dowel to make a witch's broom, and I hope you enjoyed it. Here it is all finished up and displayed in my little breakfast nook, and I think it is so super cute and a great way to use your imagination.
I hope you enjoyed this segment today with the Painted Heat. And if you would like to watch all the other creatives, the link to the playlist is in my description. All the hosts are tagged as well, and I hope that you'll check them all out and come back and enjoy some more crafting with me and creating. And I hope that you'll subscribe, hit that bell, and come back for more. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. And until then, make sure you do something kind for yourself today or someone else. Have a blessed one.